Today I'm going to be building out a multi-line icebreaker generator in N8N that makes use of a deep website scraping in order to personalize the first few lines of a high-quality cold email. This is what the workflow looks like. You can see that we have our sales scraping part of it, which we covered in the last lesson, but there's a few tweaks over here. So this is the message that I sent it, which includes the titles, which in my case is sales directors, the number of employees, which is between 50 and 500. The department is master salesperson. The location, I put it as United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and even South Africa. The company keywords that I said will contain any manual sales process, lead qualification, and pipeline management. Now, if you're not sure where to get these parameters, delete it. So after I found my ICP or ideal customer profile, you can copy all of this exactly as it is. I just took a screenshot, got ChatGPT to put it into text, and then you paste it over here in your chat window. Now, I already have it pinned because we covered this in the last lesson. So what's happening over here is that we're taking our search query, converting it into a URL that we are using Apify for, using the Apollo scraper that can scrape up to 50,000 leads, which is pretty amazing. And we're converting our ICP details into this URL, which has all of the other search queries over here. And if I run this, that'll give us this query over here. And now I'm going to run it. So what you should see over here is a list of scraped leads. We should get around 500 leads. Make sure that you have this URL as well as your Apify token, which you can paste over here. So while this is scraping the leads from Apify, if you want to get this template, you can head over to my corporate automation library. This is the free template that you can get. I'll be posting some high quality templates right over here for free. So if you want to follow along with me with this template, you can get it right over here. I have automations in content creation, marketing growth, newsletter automation, as well as sales, which we're targeting right now. So definitely comment AI automation down below to get this AI template for free. Great. So it took about 2 minutes to get about 500 line items. I'm just going to pin it over here so that we don't have to redo it again. If we put it in table format, you can see that based on our initial search query, we've got Michael. We can see his department and the company he's part of from Sales Hive. So as you can see, we have over 500 leads. I'm just going to limit it to just 10 just for the sake of this demonstration and also for testing purposes. So it's running over here and now we got 10 leads. Now this one here, we want to only filter out leads that have emails and websites because we're going to scrape their websites, and obviously if you don't have their emails, we won't be able to email them. So it only makes sense to filter out these. So this we have json.organization website.url. So that we got from our input, and we got json.email. I'm going to execute this step. So as you can see, we filtered out one lead that didn't have an email, and we have 9 in total. And then we go to this block here in which we'll execute it. And what this block will do is that it's going to take the website and scrape all of the data from that person's website. Now there's a lot of data to show, so I'm just going to click on show. So as you can see, there's a lot of data just for a single lead. Now how do we manage this data? Well, so we're going to send all of these leads into this block over here, which will extract the HTML content. So if we click execute over here, we're going to take all of this data over here and just get the specific data that we need, which will basically be the website links that we need to scrape. Now, as you can see, we've got all of these different links over here. We're going to just get just a subset of these before actually researching the client's website and essentially find out more about them before we go and message them. Now we have this edit fields over here, and this will just set variables for the different things that we need. So in this case, we have the first name, last name, emails, headlines, location, phone numbers, links, you name it. We're going to store all of this in our database, but we're going to do that at a later stage once we've enriched the data. So that's the sales scraping part of it. Let's move on to the enrichment part of it. So now here, I'm just going to pin all of these. Okay, because the amount of data that we have, we are unable to pin this. So I'm just going to click execute workflow. And what's going to happen is we're going to go through this entire workflow right here, right now. Great. Now we are in the lead enrichment stage. So we have a loop. So we go through all of the leads that we have and we loop through all of them. If we're done with them, then we do nothing. So we're going to loop through a few there. And what happens is that we're going to split out all of the links that we have. So if you look at the input, I'm just going to stop execution for now because we already have a few iterations of this. So we have all of this data. We just want to focus purely on the links. So we're just breaking out links from this one and we got the links. That's perfect. And you can check the links for the various companies. So you can see for the current leads that we have, they're all from Sales Hive. We have picked up. Now that we have those line items, we can filter out the basic ones that we need. So essentially what this code is doing, you can use a filter block, but I did it with JavaScript. So what this block is doing is it's taking all of these different links and converting absolute links into relative links. So for example, we have augmentedstartups.com/about me, then we take it and we just want the about me section so that we can scrape that particular part. We're removing any duplicates and we're limiting to just the top 3 results to find out more about the company from their about page and a few other things. Now, I just implemented this merge block because some items, it was an N8N bug that didn't allow the data to be passed through here. So I just merged it from there, combined it in all possible combinations. So if we have all of the data, and now we're going to pass those links over here. So 3 links at a time that it's going to go and scrape the data. And this is the output that we have. So this raw data over here gets converted into Markdown, which is something that I can read and which you can read and see our initial analysis on, and also makes it ChatGPT friendly. Another benefit of extracting the Markdown is that we use less tokens from passing all of the other HTML stuff right over here. So here we can see services, cold calling, hire, manage B2B cold callers to generate high quality leads. So that's just something from the company. Now, to do this manually is a lot of work. You have to go through each site of maybe 100 clients. Maybe a sales rep can only go through 10 per day, but AI can go through it and surf through thousands, if not tens of thousands of leads. So now we can go into the summarized web page where we can take this markdown format and summarize the contents of this person's business. And this is based on the stuff that we scraped. Now, this is not the only way you can do it. You can obviously use something like Perplexity or add a web tool to this to search the internet for itself, to be able to get information for the company and extract the information if you want to. But I chose to go this route where it does it all manually so that we use less tokens and we can have more control over the data that we're extracting. But I'll definitely do another example in which we'll do the exact same process but use Perplexity or some sort of AI agent with web scraping tools like Firecrawl, SERP API or Tavily. Great, so once we have summarized the 3 websites, we're going to send it through an aggregator that will aggregate all of the data sources and put it together into a nice abstract. And now this is where the magic happens. We're going to take all of the data and convert it into a personalized message. So what we have here is we have all of the website data. We're using a GPT 4.1 model. You can use any model that you want. We're starting out to say, we are scraping a series of web pages for a business called whatever the business is called. Your task is to take the summaries and turn it into catchy, personalized opening emails for a cold email campaign targeting sales directors in software SaaS companies who struggle with manual sales processes. Now, you can customize this how you want it to be for your business and for your ICP. So I recommend you take all of this, copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, based on I'm targeting people who are selling computers, changes for computer salespersons, to customize this for computer sales agents who want to sell this, and we can help them using this. So over here, I'm giving some more information like the first name, last name, title, company, industry if you want to, location, and then the website abstract. I gave it an instruction to say, generate an icebreaker focusing on sales automation, value proposition. Look for premises about scaling, sales operations, team productivity challenges. These are mostly the pain points that we're covering. Growth and goals of hiring or sales tools mentions, and pipeline management issues. And what I'm trying to do is to say, we have the premise to our core values. So when you do your corporate identity, this is what you will bring into this. So for me, I'm saying we help sales directors automate their manual sales processes to save 15 to 20 hours per week and improve pipeline visibility through intelligent N8N workflows. So enough of me ranting about the prompts that I've created for the sales process. Let's take a look at the output that we're getting. So here we have the first icebreaker, which says, "Hey Sean, notice that Sales Hives highlights its rapid growth and ability to book 85,000 plus B2B sales meetings by blending experienced SDRs with proprietary tech. Sales director at high growth agencies like Sales Hive often face manual pipeline management and CRM inefficiencies as outreach scales. We help sales directors at software companies automate manual sales processes and boost pipeline visibility by connecting your CRM, outreach and lead qualification tools through intelligent, and I can say, worth a 12-minute chat, see how automation could save a team 15 to 20 hours per week. Let's focus on scaling even faster." So as you can see, they're doing really well in terms of their sales outreach, but let's take a look at the other database that we have over here. So besides the people from Sales Hive, we've got Tactical Sales, we've got the Belling Desk, and a few more Sales Hive people. So what we can do is we can also add in a filter if you really wanted to target unique company people, but also targeting the same people in the same company. We might get some other people who are interested in our services using N8N and automation. So let's look at the other people from technical sales and the billing desk, what we have in terms of our AI summary or our opening messages. So this one here says, "Hey Bill, notice technical sales solution is focused on scaling sales operations and driving team productivity. Sales directors in software companies often run into manual process inefficiencies and pipeline management headaches as they grow. We help sales directors automate manual sales process to save 15 to 20 hours per week." So my overall thought is, you know what, while this thing works really, really well, you could be targeting a different custom base. So this is a mistake that I have run into. I'm selling automation to people who are already doing automation, and now what I'm doing now is I'm selling sales to people who are already doing sales. So you definitely want to try and refine your ICP as much as you can in the initial stage. To say, so I'm targeting people who need sales improvements rather than people who specialize in scaling sales, and the same thing with automations. So that's just some tips from my end on how to improve the system. You can obviously take this template for free and play around with it. So once you have all of this in your database, you can take it to a platform like Instantly or Smartlead. I'm in no way affiliated with them, but we'll be covering a full lecture on how to cover this and send over 1,000 emails per month. If you want to check the video, check this link right up here.